I'm a 38-year-old man. Let's call me Op. I work in middle management at a logistics company outside of Columbus, Ohio. It's not glamorous, but it's solid. Health insurance, a 401k I actually contribute to. PTO I rarely use. My wife, Emily, 36, worked in HR for a regional medical group. Together, we had what people call the American dream. A 4-bedroom house in a quiet suburb. 2 cars in the driveway. Christmas lights every December. A golden retriever named Max who slept at the foot of our bed. We had been married for 11 years. No kids. Not because we didn't want them, but because life always seemed to say, not yet. Promotions to chase. Student loans to finish paying off. The idea that we had time. I thought we were happy. The first crack didn't come with a bang. It came quietly, like a hairline fracture you only notice once the whole thing collapses. It started with money. Emily handled most of our day-to-day finances. I trusted her completely, but one night, late in October, I was balancing our joint account because our mortgage company sent an automated, insufficient funds email. That had never happened before. Ever. I opened our banking app expecting a glitch. Instead, I saw a series of transfers I didn't recognize. Not huge amounts at first. $250 here, $400 there, but frequent. Always labeled vaguely. Consulting, reimbursement, MISC. My stomach tightened. When I asked her about it the next morning over coffee, she didn't even look up from her phone. Oh, that? Just some stuff for work. I'll explain later. Later never came. Then there was the phone. Emily had always been careless with it. Left it on the kitchen counter. Tossed it on the couch. Face up, no password anxiety. Suddenly, it was always face down. Always locked. Always with her. Even in the shower. I started waking up at night to the faint glow of the bathroom light and the sound of whispered laughter. Not crying. Laughing. I told myself I was paranoid. That I was projecting stress from work. That marriages go through phases. That everyone on Reddit always jumps straight to, she's cheating, and real life is more complicated than that. But my body knew before my brain caught up. I lost weight. I stopped sleeping. The house felt different. Cold. It smelled different too. Like a stranger's cologne lingering faintly on her coat one evening. When I mentioned it, she shrugged and said, probably from the office. The moment of discovery didn't happen the way you see in movies. No dramatic walk-in. No clothes on the floor. It was worse. It was a Tuesday night. Late November. The kind of night where the air smells like snow even though it hasn't fallen yet. Emily had fallen asleep on the couch with her phone in her hand. Netflix paused. Her breathing slow and even. I stood there for a long time, just watching her chest rise and fall, arguing with myself. Don't do it. You don't want to know. If you look, you can't unsee it. But something inside me, something primal and exhausted, took over. I picked up her phone. She'd changed the passcode recently. But I knew her well. Or I thought I did. I tried her sister's birthday. Unlocked. My hands were shaking so badly I had to sit down. There was a messaging app I didn't recognize. Not iMessage. Not WhatsApp. Something encrypted. My heart was pounding in my ears as I opened it. The first message I saw wasn't sexual. It was worse. I miss you. Today felt wrong without you. Scrolling up felt like digging my own grave. Months of messages, inside jokes, complaints about me, plans, hotel receipts, photos I will never be able to erase from my mind. And then a name. Mark. Not some random guy. Mark was a senior operations director at my company. My boss's boss. A man I'd shaken hands with at company picnics. A man whose wife had baked cookies for the office at Christmas. I remember the exact moment my knees gave out. The carpet burned my skin as I collapsed. I remember the hum of the refrigerator. The ticking of the wall clock. The dog lifting his head, confused. I didn't cry right away. I just sat there, staring at a screen that had just detonated my life. Update. 2 weeks later, I didn't confront her. Not that night, not the next day, not even the next week. I don't know where the restraint came from. Maybe shock, maybe survival instinct, or maybe some part of me wanted to know just how deep the rot went. I started documenting everything: screenshots, bank statements, hotel bookings synced to her Google account, emails forwarded to myself at 2 a.m. while she slept next to me, her back turned, her body warm and unfamiliar. Thanksgiving came and went like a ghost. We hosted dinner for both families. Turkey, stuffing, laughter. Mark and his wife weren't there, but Emily kept checking her phone. Smiling at it, her hand brushed mine under the table, and I had to excuse myself to the bathroom so I wouldn't vomit. The unexpected ally came from a place I never anticipated. Her name was Sarah. She was Mark's wife. I didn't plan to contact her. I was too ashamed, too angry, too afraid of detonating everything before I was ready. But one evening, as I was going through our joint credit card statements, I noticed a charge for a boutique hotel in Chicago. Same weekend, same dates. I checked Mark's public LinkedIn. He had posted about a business trip to Chicago that weekend. Something inside me snapped into focus. I found Sarah on Facebook, stared at her profile picture for an hour. Her and Mark on a beach somewhere, smiling. 2 kids in the comments calling him Dad. I typed and deleted the message at least 20 times. Finally, I sent it. I'm so sorry to contact you like this. You don't know me, but I think our spouses are having an affair. She responded 10 minutes later. I know. We met in a Starbucks off the highway, halfway between our houses. Neutral ground, late afternoon, gray skies, Christmas decorations already up, painfully cheerful. She looked exactly like I felt, tired, hollow, holding herself together with caffeine and spite. We didn't hug. We just sat down and stared at each other like survivors of the same disaster. I've been tracking them for over a year, she said quietly. I just didn't have proof. Not enough for a lawyer. I slid my phone across the table. Her hands trembled as she scrolled. That's him, she whispered. That's his watch. I bought it for him. Something strange happened in that moment. The loneliness eased, just a little. There was another person who understood, who knew the weight of betrayal down to the molecular level. Together, we compared notes. The affair wasn't just emotional or physical, it was financial. Mark had been funneling company resources, travel budgets, consulting fees, into covering their expenses. Emily had helped. As an HR professional, she knew how to manipulate reimbursements, how to bury transactions. They weren't just cheating, they were committing fraud. By the time we parted ways, the plan wasn't revenge. It was exposure. Clean, legal, devastating. Update: 3 months later. We chose the setting carefully. The annual company Christmas party. Downtown hotel ballroom. Open bar. Spouses invited. Executives present. Emily wore a red dress. The one I used to love. I remember thinking how strange it was that I could look at her and feel nothing but a distant, clinical curiosity. Sarah arrived with Mark. Her posture was perfect, calm, controlled. At exactly 8:17 p.m., Sarah walked up to the stage and asked for the microphone. She smiled, thanked everyone for being there. Then she started reading emails, dates, dollar amounts. No yelling, no crying. Just facts. I watched Mark's face drain of color. I watched Emily's smile crack, then collapse entirely when she realized what was happening. Security escorted them out. HR was notified. An internal investigation launched before the dessert plates were cleared. Emily finally spoke to me in the parking garage. How long have you known? She asked, her voice shaking. Long enough, I said. That was it. Final update: the divorce was brutal but clean. Ohio is an equitable distribution state. Evidence mattered. A lot. Emily lost her job. Mark lost his. The company pressed charges for fraud. Their affair partner comfort didn't last long once the real consequences arrived. Emily moved into a small apartment across town. I kept the house, the dog, the quiet. 6 months later, Sarah and I don't talk much anymore. We served our purpose in each other's lives. Trauma bond allies, nothing more. I spend Christmas alone now. And that's okay. The house still smells like pine and cold air. But it's mine again. I used to think healing meant going back to who you were before. Now I know better. Healing is learning that your worth was never defined by someone else's loyalty. Sometimes, the American dream has to burn down so you can finally wake up.